What up, guys? I'm just gonna do a quick little video today. I read this book and I want to give you my review on it. It's called The God Equation by Michio Kaku. So basically this book just describes a lot of like scientific stuff, such as like how an electric field will create a magnetic field, and then that magnetic field creates another electric field. Stuff like that, stuff that's very scientific, stuff like gravitons and stuff like that. Gravitons are basically, I'm not sure if they're real, but it was just someone trying to prove that there's like an actual thing that makes gravity, right? But this book was really cool because it talked about how at first scientific discoveries would be sacrilegious or be considered sacrilegious, because back then really it was churches that were running the world, and back then being like the thousands, I don't know, I didn't really give a time period. But for example, when people figured out that the earth revolved around the sun, right, they thought that was sacrilegious. They thought the earth is the most important thing in the universe and everything else revolves around the earth. But that's not how it works. And a lot of scientific discoveries, and a lot of scientists would be persecuted for, trying to figure out how stuff worked. But the more stuff they figure out, like how it worked, that can prove that God is real, because it proves that everything is tied together. And if one thing was just a little bit off, the whole universe would fall apart, really. That sounds very intense, but it's true. If one little force was thrown off, everything would fall apart, because everything within the universe is balanced, and there's forces that tie things together. Like, for example, the stars. There's forces between the stars that keep them in their positions, right? And someone might say, well, what if that's just the way the universe works? Like, that's just how everything works, and that doesn't prove that there was some type of architect behind this. It's just how things are. I mean, I personally believe that there's, like, everything is very complex, and there had to be an architect behind how things were designed. But what leads me to believe in God, this isn't really from the book, but what leads me to believe in God is I believe in positive energy will always win over negative energy. I feel like if you're someone who thrives off putting negativity into the world, at the end of your life, I'm not going to say like you're going to hell or something like that, but I feel like when you're on your deathbed, you're gonna be thinking, "Oh, like that was bad. Like I hurt so many people's feelings, and at the moment, it made me feel better, but really, it is not good." I feel like anytime you're doing something positive or doing something to influence someone's day in a good manner, that helps you out and it helps them out. But you can't really do it for thinking, oh, this good deed is going to send me to heaven. Anytime you do something, you shouldn't think that something good is going to come back to you, really. And yeah, this was a good book. It was very interesting to read. I learned a lot of new stuff. I didn't really know much about a lot of scientific stuff before, you know what I'm saying? Like light. The thing I learned, white is like a composite color, right? It's all the colors combined. In my head, that didn't make sense, because I would have like paint or something. I'm like, well, if I combine all the colors, that would make black. So wouldn't that make black the composite color? But it's white because, for example, I have this what's it called? It's like a window, but on the top of my ceiling. You know, sunlight, sunbeam, sunroof, like a sunroof for your car, but it's in your house, and the light will shine through it, and then it'll make like rainbows and stuff in my house. And it makes sense because white is just like pure, right? It's like pure light. And then when it's refracted through some type of glass or crystal, that's how it makes all the colors. What's another thing I learned? I swear I learned more stuff from this book. I actually read it, but it's like very complicated, and that's why I recommend you read it. Like, I'm not very good at explaining it, but this was a really good book, and I feel like you should go get it from your library. That's what I did. Don't buy books because you can get them from the library for free. But go read this book. It's really good. Thank you for watching.